1, 2, 3, 4.
After the band ended, I was still in touch with everybody, with Johnny and Joey. Not all the time, but you know, we called up, hey, just say hello. But Mark and I haven't spoke since just after the band broke up. A couple of times we saw each other on the road and say, hey, what's up, how's it going? But we don't call each other and say, hey, you know what I mean? It's not like that. But you know, Mark is very busy. Mark does a lot of things. He's always recording, touring, and all that, and I'm doing my own thing, so we don't see each other that much. You know, Johnny really is a very complicated person. Not always easy to get along with. Very opinionated, but Johnny was my mentor, my teacher in the band. Johnny really was my teacher, so that's what I would call him. I would call him my teacher. You know, Joey was my friend. Joey and I went to shows together. We, you know, hung out together. We talked a lot. I used to stay at his house to write songs together. Joey was more like my friend. Marky was just a very funny guy. I mean, well, on the road when you're on tour, it can be very difficult, sometimes very uncomfortable. You don't eat good food, you don't sleep good, you're always moving. It can be very difficult, but Mark always found a way to make everyone laugh. You know, he made the road much more comfortable because he was always making fun of somebody, arguing with Johnny or something. He was funny, very funny guy. But all three very complicated people, very different, very complicated. I tried for a little while to get Mark to come out. Me and Mark Ramone tour together, but he didn't want to do it. And I asked Richie Ramone to come out, and he said maybe. But I think at this point, now that I've recorded my first record as CJ Ramone, I'll probably only tour with my band and stay like that. There's one song in particular on the record called 3 Angels that is directly about Johnny, Joey, and Dee Dee, and I talk about each guy in the song. The whole record was written as a tribute to the Ramones. It's very intentional. I try to make it sound like the Ramones because I wanted to remind everyone about what makes the Ramones great. It's also a tribute to the fans. You know, in all the years that I was with the band, that was always first and foremost in Johnny and Joey's minds was the fans and their relationship with the fans. So, you know, I wanted it to be a tribute to the fans also. So it's a very, while it's a tribute, it's still a very personal type of record too, because I put a lot of emotion into the songs.
What they want, what I don't know, all this coming to bring together, yeah,
I think we've always said, I've always said, and I know Johnny did too, whenever we would hear that our best fans in the world, craziest fans in the world, were from South America, Brazil and Argentina and Chile and Uruguay. The fans here are just different than anywhere else. I don't know if it's because the Ramones represent American rock and roll, and I don't go to Japan and say, oh, these are our best fans, or I don't go to Europe and say, oh, you're our best fans. It's the only place I've ever said that. Brazil, Argentina, absolutely the best fans in the world.
Hey, hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho.
A couple of months after Jason Newsted left the band, Johnny Ramone called me up. Johnny and Kirk Hammett were good friends. And he said, you know, Metallica wants you to come and play bass for them. And I said, I said, wow, that's an honor. You know, I'm a Metallica fan. I said that's a big honor, but my son had been diagnosed with autism just not too long before I got that phone call from Johnny. And I said to Johnny, I said, you know, I would really love to do it and tell them thank you and I'm honored, but you know, I have to stay home and take care of my son. So Johnny said, you're crazy, that's ridiculous. If you play with Metallica, you'll make money, you can afford the best doctors. And so I said to Johnny, I said, you know what, I'll ask my son's doctor what he thinks, you know. So I went to my son's doctor and I said, I have an opportunity to play with a very famous band. I can make a lot of money. I can hire a teacher to come on the road with me and stay with my son all the time. And you know, he'll eat good food. He can have his own place on the tour bus. And my son's doctor said, you know, the problem is he needs to wake up in the same bed every day. He needs to eat meals at the same time every day and go to the same school every day. And so he said, I understand it's a difficult decision, but, you know, if you want to do the best thing for your son, you stay home. So I called Johnny back and I said, I can't, you know. And Johnny said, you're crazy, you know, you're crazy. So I guess it was probably 2 months maybe later on, Johnny called me up again and he said, listen, it's not an audition. You can be in the band. You just have to go and play with them. And I said, Johnny, I can't. There's no way I can do it. You know, there's no way. So that was it. I didn't turn down Metallica because I didn't want to be in the band. You know, but that's not it at all. I had to say no because I had to take care of my son. And if you saw my son now, you wouldn't even know he was autistic. He's very, very smart. He's going to college. He works, and you know, he works 2 jobs. And I'm not saying it's all because I stayed home, but I think because I was there all the time and kept him on a good schedule, it had something to do with it. There are a lot of other people involved, teachers and his mom and doctors, but I think me being there all the time had something to do with it. So it made my decision justified. Because I've been to Brazil a lot of times, I don't know everything about the country. I don't know everything about the government or the people. I don't say that I do. But in the press in the United States, they were saying that the Brazilian people are protesting because they raised the bus fare 20 cents. But I knew that was wrong. So I went on my Facebook page. I have many Brazilian fans on there. So I went onto my Facebook page and I said, you know, tell us what's happening. You know, I said, you know, come to my Facebook page and tell everybody what's really happening and why everyone's protesting. So a lot of fans came on and said, you know, we're protesting because there's too much corruption and all. I posted that. I thought, you know, it was the world is watching, maybe for the first time, the people of a country leading their government out of the third world. You know, the people trying to push the government out of the third world, which is, to me, historically very important. So when I put that up on the Facebook page, many people said, thank you for saying that, and you know, because like I said, in the US the press was saying, oh, it's about a 20% bus fare raise, but I think most people know it's not. I think most people understand, you know, Brazil has a very unique opportunity to change, you know, the way people live in its country, and hopefully more people will understand it and they'll support, you know, they'll support the movement.
Let's go!
Ramones forever.